Now, a $300 billion private fund designed to trigger investment into Iran is outlined in the US-Iran Framework Agreement, and more than half of that sum has already been committed. The fund is designed to give both sides an economic incentive to conclude a final deal to end the war. Who spoke on condition of anonymity because the plan has not yet been announced, as Washington and Tehran prepare to sign on 19th June. Now, the fund's existence reveals for the first time that more than half of the amount has already been committed and that it will be comprised entirely of private sector funds. US and Iranian officials have said that they had agreed on a framework to end their war, which began when US and Israeli forces attacked Iran on 28 February, halt the US blockade of Iran, and reopen the Strait of Hormuz, a key supply route for global oil and gas. Now, the investment fund is entirely separate from a parallel negotiating track over the lifting of US sanctions and the release of Iranian sovereign assets frozen abroad. The fund will not be created or become operational until a final and satisfactory deal is concluded. Meanwhile, Iran's army warns of a harsh response to Israeli ceasefire violations in Lebanon. Israel has violated the ceasefire in southern Lebanon 84 times since the US-Iran deal was announced on Sunday. And in a statement circulated on state media, the army warned that Israel should expect a harsh response if it continues to commit crimes and massacre the oppressed people of Lebanon. Also, the first tankers carrying Iranian oil exited a US blockade in the Strait of Hormuz 2 days before Washington and Tehran launched talks under terms of a memorandum of understanding between the two nations. The tanker tracker website, which monitors oil shipments and storage, marked Iran's first crude oil export in 2 months, citing digital tracking data corroborated by satellite imagery. And to discuss this further, I'm joined by Major General Ashwani Sivach, who's a defense and a geopolitical expert. Mr. Sivach, thank you so much for taking your time and joining me here at News 9. We are looking at a possible resolution to an US-Iran, the standoff that was brewing, the war that was brewing. But is it at all a resolution in sight, Mr. Sivach, because we're looking at a $300 billion private fund that is designed to trigger investment into Iran. Half of it has already been committed. Major General Sivach, how do you look at it? Is this going to help ease and facilitate the ceasefire, or do you feel this is only on paper?
Absolutely. You see, the point is there are a number of gray areas. There is no denying the fact that a memorandum of understanding, which is likely to be signed on 19 June, has got three main issues. One is that there will be a ceasefire in all fronts, including Lebanon. That's a very tricky because Israel is still not doing what the Americans want, to stop attacking on Hezbollah in Lebanon. The second issue is that Strait of Hormuz will open, and also the naval blockade of put by the Americans will also subsequently open. And third thing is basically they talking about releasing of uh, almost 50% of the assets which are frozen, almost which is about $12 billion, because $24 billion is frozen. But there are also now issue coming of that there will be a commitment of $300 billion as an investment fund. That fund will be utilized for the reconstruction activity in Iran. And basically, why they are telling it that there are a lot of damage which has occurred. But the problem is that this investment fund, how will you generate so much fund? Is it such an easy job to be done? Who will pay for it? How it will be did it? Now, those parameters and the contours of this basically, the peace talk and the peace plan is not still out. That will
I
only
want
come
to
out
delve
on.
into this area that you have just brought it up as to who exactly is making that commitment? And then again, it's a commitment, not really a deployment. This has not been dispatched in letter and spirit per se. Do we know who owns, manages it as far as the funds are concerned? Who are going to be the owners of these funds? Are they the investors, Western asset managers? Are they going to be from Gulf? Are they going to be Iran? Are they going to be from the US? We don't have any clarity on that front. There's also ambiguity over this massive amount that has been mentioned over here. That is over how many years? Is it going to be over 5 years? Is it going to be over 10 years? And in what manner has Iran decided to receive that? What has Iran committed to US in exchange of this exorbitant amount that we're talking about as far as the $300 billion is concerned? Major General Savage, do you feel there is need for more clarity?
Absolutely correct. There is not too much clarity. What will be the contours of this basically MOU, which is likely to be signed on 19th June? And the issue which you were raising is $300 billion, a huge amount. How it will be generated, who will be generating, who will be controlling it? Is it that Strait of Hormuz, there will be some toll which will be put by Iran, and that is how they will create this money? Nothing is very clear. So this will only become clear once this MOU signed. And second thing is the sticking point, which is still there, is the nuclear weapon as far as of Iran is concerned. That what will happen to that enriched uranium, which is about 440 kg, which is still there in Iran. Now, what will be the fate of that? And what guarantee will be given by Iran to ensure that it will not make any nuclear weapon? So these are certain gray area which need to be addressed, and this possibly will only become clear once the MOU will become public. So I think these are the very important things. Now remember, there are also talk which is going on that whatever will be the contours of this MOU, it will be something very akin to the JCPO of 2015, that a joint comprehensive plan of action, which is called a nuclear deal, which was signed between Iran and P5 plus one, that permanent members plus Germany. So it will be something like that. Now, no one is very clear how things will unfold, but two, three things are very clear, that possibly Strait of Hormuz will open and the naval blockade will be removed as far as America is concerned. Rest, I think, things are still unclear, and it will only clear once on either it is been addressed, or once on 19th of June, this issue will be then spelled out.